depending on how these chains are setting up like their deals with market makers and such, they might also have a vested interest in the prices being at certain points. So like if market makers are on the same vesting schedule or part of a big unlock, they might have, let's say, like a strike price on it where, hey, you can exercise these at $1. So they want to see it over $1 so that when they exercise it, they can make a profit. But yeah, in general, like between like the market makers and just like the people who are the largest holders, they have a vested interest in seeing that price action go up before they're vested.
In this video, Max is going to give us a heads up on what happens during a token unlock, and he'll share projects and founders he's bullish on. Max has been my go-to for a lot of insights into crypto. He's not just an enthusiast. He works in the industry, specifically Phi Labs, the core contributor to Archway, an app chain in Cosmos. Before we go on, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It'll support the show and my guests. Now, many projects you're investing in are going through unlocks as we speak. Do not be fooled.
When you hear that there's a big unlock coming, it's natural to think, hey, I'm going to go front run this because they're going to probably try to dump and recognize some income from all the work they put in. So people front run it, try to sell off. Well, if you know that you're going to make the most money if that price is up, you have a reason, if you're an early contributor or a large holder, to absorb that sell pressure. So buy it up, and then keep that price kind of supported so that you can kind of spark like a mini kind of run. And that's typically what you see is like an unlock happens on some of these, nothing really happens. You kind of just see a slow kind of climb up. There seems to be some sort of like catalyst that really sends it up. And then there's the correction. And that correction is typically when you see a lot of like the insiders getting out of their positions. And like, I'm not going to say any specific chains because I would have to go prove it. And I can't say for certain this is happening. But when I look at the chains that I've seen this happen on and kind of the pattern over multiple cycles, it's typically the ones who are the most notable or have the largest backers. And they're able to move, the needle, move price effectively. And then that's really their way of maximizing their profit before a vest, because it's public knowledge. So if everyone wanted to dump right on the day it vested, it's probably not going to go well. And people realize that. So they're going to prepare for that either by selling or preparing for, the eventual idea that it could just tank 20% or what have you.
Now that we understand why the price might go up before a sell-off, let's ask Max about how to recognize the best projects in Cosmos.
I think a lot of it, quite frankly, has to just do with who are your connections? Like, who are you connected to in the space? So if you are like closely aligned or connected with a lot of the initial core people of the entire Cosmos ecosystem, so like the Sunnies of the world, the Zakis, if you know those type of people, they have a very large network of people in this space, right? And they also have a lot of capital from being very early contributors and adopters. So they're able to push projects very easily because people trust them. And so when they back a project, it kind of, people give it the benefit of the doubt, or at least give it a shot. So from that standpoint, a lot of it's just like your network and who you're working with can really help to amplify your team or your project. And then a lot of it is marketing dollars. So then we've seen other projects take a different route, right? Like you have, let's say, they didn't really acclimate with the Cosmos ecosystem or like really try to become part of the Cosmos community or work with any of these like key players. They really just did what you said. They just spent on advertising and marketing. We're just going to spread the word as loud and as far as we can. And hopefully that will be enough to get traction. And based on price action alone, I would say that's worked out pretty well for them.
Max mentioned Zaki, who appears to be very busy. Let's dive deeper into who he is and what he's working on.
He's a guy who I think is extremely well connected in the space. It has a wide breadth of knowledge in the space, is considered an expert in many different parts of like Web3. Specifically the Cosmos, he's been huge, part of a lot of different projects. So the fact that he has his own kind of L1 that he's more or less like the main kind of character for, even though it is decentralized network, I understand. But he's kind of the face of it. That really is something that would give me confidence in the project right away, just because of who's backing it and who he has in his network. Because the hardest part is getting introductions to large centralized exchanges or getting into the fold with other layer ones like Ethereum, who aren't really going to just talk to anybody with a partnership. You kind of have to know some people have built up some clout in the space. So I feel like with someone like Zaki, he can do that. He has that clout, he has that knowledge. And on top of it, the thesis behind his product actually, I think, is really good. It's an ETH play with Sommelier. It's like basically allows you to participate in like vaults and strategies on Ethereum through the Cosmos, which then creates a much cheaper and easier, place to actually participate and still earn the yield and get like the upside of Ethereum. So to me, that from my product side has a really good like thesis. And then you pair it with a really good like kind of face of the product. that's kind of the recipe for success in my eyes.
Sommelier Finance connects Ethereum-based investment strategies, such as those in DeFi vaults, with the Cosmos blockchain. This integration allows users to participate in Ethereum's investment opportunities at a lower cost. The reason for the cost reduction is that Cosmos network typically has a lower transaction fees compared to Ethereum. By leveraging the strength of both Ethereum and Cosmos, Sommelier provides a more efficient and cost-effective way for users to engage in DeFi activities. But there was another guy that Max mentioned. What's his name again?
Sunny, in general, is just a great steward of like the Cosmos. And I think people like him will instill confidence in investors and users who use the products. I think they've done a great job of supporting the ecosystem and building out Osmosis to be more than just a DEX and to support more functionality. So that's not a team that like, I could argue maybe some certain parts of the tokenomics I don't agree with, but in a wider scope, I think the team's really talented. I think they're able to take that to the next level. So that's really what it comes down to for me. I'm looking for a match between product and the people behind it. And sometimes it's hard to even find who the people are.
Most people that are familiar with Cosmos are familiar with Sunny and Osmosis for reasons Max mentioned. For those that may not be as familiar, Osmosis is a significant component of the Cosmos ecosystem due to its role as a leading decentralized exchange for interchain transactions. It enables swapping of assets across different blockchains within the Cosmos network, facilitating liquidity and connectivity among these chains. This interoperability is central to Cosmos' vision of an internet of blockchains, where various independent blockchains can communicate and transact with each other efficiently. Osmosis provides a robust and user-friendly platform for these interchain exchanges, hence why they play a very crucial role in realizing this vision. Cosmos has always been strong in DeFi, but I'm sensing a slight shift here. I see you having a little bit of fun with these Archies, I think it's called, right? NFTs. I see every once in a while you post a little bit of content around that. I know Injective, they have like ninjas or they have their own NFTs. And I'm starting to see like more avatars as well, like PFPs of like different NFT projects within Cosmos. I feel like this time around, the Cosmos ecosystem as a whole feels a little bit different. It's almost like they're letting loose a little bit, or having a little bit more fun versus just being like solely like DeFi focused. Are you seeing the same trend?
A little bit, yeah. And honestly, I think that was a bit of a detriment in past cycles was we focused so much on the tech and not so much on just like what fun things you could do here. And I think a lot of us, there wasn't a ton to do, but we were so, and I say this as like a broader ecosystem and myself as a participant, we were so caught up in why Cosmos was better than every other tech stack that we never really convinced the user why they should come use it. Like there was no reason for them. It's like, cool, you're faster than Ethereum, you're more reliable than Solana, but like, so what? I want to use these apps, which don't exist here. Like I want to do this or that. And that's why when something like Anchor came along to Terra, that really elevated the entire Cosmos because now people had a reason to come over and say, okay, I'll try out this product because it's going to give me this APR. And then they go try it and they're like, wow, how much is gas here? There's only 20 cents to do that. I'm going to earn 20%. Wait, that already went through in 5 seconds. I don't have to wait 10 minutes for my transaction to settle. Those type of things are like eye-opening to people, but they have to get here to see it. And then they understand the tech side because it's not a bunch of technical jargon. It's literally them clicking a button, seeing the smoothness and fastness of the network and being like, that was unexpectedly smooth. That must mean there's some good tech behind here. But that's all they need to know, right? They don't need to know it's like, oh, well, technically it's because Cosmos SDK and Tendermint's throughput is X amount. Therefore, you're able to, get finality in 6 seconds. It's like, that means nothing to a user. They just want to know it's smoother, faster, and does what they want. And that's something I think we've gotten a little better at is like keeping it more high level, keeping it more fun, and like embracing the meme culture of the space to get people to understand that, hey, if you're here for the meme coin, but that gets you here to trade, and then you realize that when you're trading here, it's a much better experience, that's a win. So I think we've come to understand that over time. Whereas before we were very like contested, like we didn't like that people pushed back first listening and saying, hey, they don't care about the tech. So what else can bring them here?
Overall, really exciting stuff being built in Cosmos and pretty cool to see folks in Cosmos have a little bit of fun. I think this is a step in the right direction. As always, appreciate having Max on and sharing his views. But I want to hear from you. What projects are you excited about? Comment down below, and maybe I'll do a review or bring them on as a guest. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel on the way out, and I'll catch you in the next video.